Okay, how are we doing? Are we live? I hope that we are live now. I think we are. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. 26 people. Let's see here. All good, says Margot. Good to see you again, Margot. Yeah. Okay, so looks like everything is working. First of all, I have done some of these live streams before from the Viking cabin. That was on the main channel, but I'm trying a few on this channel now because for some reason people seem to unsubscribe when I do live streams. So let's try some here on this channel. Roy says he's ditching Team Pool's IRL cast for you. Well, thank you for that, Roy. Salty Ragu says love the cabin. Thanks a lot for that. Now I have a few answers. I have some answers for you. First of all, why am I wearing this? Well, can you see here some mice? Mice has been chewing on my hood up here. I was not wearing the hood at the time, but yeah, I'm using this hood because there are some spiders here, and I don't want a spider web in my head. So, but anyway, I will get straight to answering those questions now. If you have additional questions, I will have to ask you to give me a super chat. That way, I will see your comment. It's wonderful with all the comments, but once I start talking, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to keep track of when it comes to the chat. But anyway, the most common question that I am getting is when will your novels be available in English, in the English language? Now, let me just clarify a little bit about that process. I will not be publishing myself. I know you can self-publish these days. I know lots of people do that, but these novels have already been translated to several languages, and they are available in several countries. It's a series of novels, and I cannot self-publish in such a huge market, or any market, as the English-speaking market, while I keep writing more novels. And I'm a novelist, I'm not a publisher. So I need a publisher. So for that, you need your agent, my literary agent, that is, to find the right publisher, ideally someone with resources and understanding of what I'm, of the novels. And yes, Luke and Mom says self-publishing is kind of a small author thing. So I need my agent to land a book deal, right? Now that could be done in 10 minutes, but we don't want like any just any a random publisher. We want a big, solid publishing house that will still exist 10 years from now, 100 years from now, and that needs to happen very soon. I feel that needs to happen. You can actually sign a petition that someone here, one of you guys, made, and there's a link on my website, and I will write. No, I won't. I will not write the website address. It is in all my videos. I even have a patch where it says Hansen.com. And it's in all my video descriptions, including this one. And if you go to my website, you will find a link there, first of all, to all the languages that my novels are available in, and also to that petition, and you can sign that petition. It has thousands of signatures already. And Valerie says, I signed the petition. Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. This is wonderful. I should sit here on the side if you can hear me, because I must say I'm quite happy with how it looks here now. And the turf roof is coming along fine. And as you can see here, now you can see that I'm not a carpenter. Here's my finger, in case you're wondering. Let's see now. Up here, I need to get some wool, actually, sheep's wool, and put it in the holes there, and also sort out the gaps. Okay. So, yes, my second question. No, your second question. There's a movie called The Northman, and I understand it's good. It's a good movie. And the question that I've gotten a couple of times is if I will see it and review it. The answer is no, I won't do that, because I don't want to get into reviewing stuff on my channels. I'm not that interested in doing that. And I probably will not even see the movie. Now, why is that? Do I have anything against that movie? No. You could say I have a lot of issues with the stuff that Netflix has been producing. But this movie is, I understand it's good. But it's like I live in that world several hours every day as a novelist. So for me, it's kind of asking if the actors will be watching the movie. Well, maybe they are, I don't know. But it's like I live in that every day. And as GB says, it would be work. Yeah, it would be work as well. And I would look at all the historical details and so on. So the answer is no, I won't see it. I won't watch it. I won't review it. But I think actually I will recommend people watching it, even though I haven't seen it, because people that I trust are saying it's a really good movie. Nick says amazing film. So this is one of the drawbacks of being a historical novelist with a focus on the Viking era. Of course, I could go and watch the movie, but I will never be watch. I can't watch movies like that without, like most people will watch them, if you know what I mean. I'm not trying to say that it's a bit difficult to explain, but GB says it best here. It would be work. Yeah. Can we do like this? You can notice here I have a wooden floor now, and I know it's a little bit risky, but there are tiles around the fireplace, and there's a metal. Can you see that? It will stop the sparks, hopefully. And I'm always keeping an eye on the fireplace, except now, because I'm sitting with my back to the fireplace. Normally I will be watching the fireplace. Let's see here. Yes. Thank you to all the people who have already said congratulations. It's the National Day here in Norway today, 17th of May. For some reason, we do not celebrate the date when Norway became a separate country again. We used to be, but for several hundreds of years, we were practically a colony under Denmark and then Sweden. But we celebrate the day when we got our own constitution. Now, I disagree with that, actually. Just a random question here. What is a Birkebeiner? Were they Norwegian? Yes, absolutely Norwegian. And they were a group of warriors. Like, you could call them an army, you know. Where was I? Yes, National Day. I need to keep to topic here. Again, if you want to, I will go through the super chats after. What I will do is I will just get through the answers and then go to the super chats if I get any. And a militia, well, practically back then, all armies were a militia. So, okay. Yeah, well, I don't like the National Day. I never been a fan, and I'll tell you why. Because we celebrate symbols on this day in Norway that I do not like. Now, first of all, if you can see above the shield there, that's Odin, right? Now, I'm not a fanatic, but I am a heathen, you know. And the National Day in Norway has been connected to Christianity and the royal family. Those are the main two symbols. It's not as bad now when it comes to Christianity, because Norway has become a lot more secular, which I probably will be talking about on my main channel, because it's an interesting thing, you know. When you look at it, it's interesting how that has happened and why. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, but looking at that process is quite interesting. But yeah, so we celebrate typically the royal family and Christianity. You know, that's from my perspective that those have been the two main symbols. And I just need to keep an eye. Oh, what's this? Yeah, I forgot. I keep my beer in here. You see, not my bear, my beer. That's a difficult word. Why do you call beer like in my name, and then the animal and the drink almost the same? It's early in the morning, but it's non-alcoholic. Lots of Norwegians have been drunk since last night, actually, and they will continue drinking today. But I'm not like that. Cheers. Should have been drinking out of a horn, but yeah, okay. So basically, the things about Norway that I love the most have not been celebrated. So for me, Norway is about nature, being a sovereign nation. It's about being a Norse, and that's not even mentioned, you know. It never is, you know. But so it's a shame. But anyway, that's why I don't like this day so much. It would be nice to have a national day, but I wish we could celebrate what's really Norwegian. It's quite easy to argue that the royal family is not Norwegian. It's not Norwegian. The Norwegian royal family is not Norwegian. Basically, they are immigrants, and some again, you know, how important is Christianity for Norway? You know, that's an interesting discussion, I guess. But yeah. And the other question, what was that? I forgot. Yeah. Let's see now. Horror Business is asking, what can a US citizen do to find work there for a few months? I don't know. I don't know how that all that would work. How work works. I don't know. I haven't been an employee since I was a student. And I guess you could ask the embassy, Norwegian embassy, or something like that. Yeah. But and anyway, there was a question. I had prepared this question, so I talked about. No, forgetting everything now. But yeah, how are you guys? It will come to me, you know. Let's see here. Antonic says, been there, seen it, didn't like it, totally Americanized. Saying that Norway is just US colony. That's all it is. Well, I would disagree. I would disagree. Maybe you didn't see the parts outside of Oslo. I don't know. I don't know. GB says, sitting by the creek outside, dark tonight. Sophia says, skål. Well, skål. Um, Bon Iver says Norwegian wife and can't be happier. Um, yeah, going to talk a little bit about politics. Um, Actually, not much, but it's quite interesting because um, Finland and Sweden is joining NATO along with Norway. Norway has been a member of NATO for a long, long time. So um, cheers to that. It's good news, you know. Um, it 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 is infuriating some of the socialists here because they don't like NATO. So it's quite it's quite funny to see that actually. Um, but we will have very strong Scandinavia together in NATO. And some I know some people will disagree, and I don't care. But I'm quite certain that it will absolutely strengthen our dominance in the North Sea as well. Um, so let's see here. Yeah, well, I know, I know, that when you think you know something about another country, typically you don't know that much. If you asked me to draw all the states in the USA on the map, I would not be able to do that. You know, hopefully, some of them, typically those along the coast and so on. But um, I, I, I wouldn't know, and that's why I try to be a little bit humble. That's my keyword actually for my next answer to a common question. But uh, people from other countries should be a little bit more humble when it comes to, for instance, Norway. It's not like you think it is here. And I'll give you one example. Um, some US politicians, they love to say that, well, we have such a great country here in Norway. It's such, well, they say Scandinavia. They think it's, I don't know, maybe they think it's a country, Scandinavia. Um, and they say, well, it's because they are socialist. That's why they have great welfare. And yeah, that's rubbish. That's not the case. Norway is a capitalist country. So is Sweden and Denmark, actually. And it's we are rich. I mean, Norway is rich because of oil. We found oil, you know, and it's also because of our culture. We are typically Norwegians work hard, and we, not everyone, but it's in our culture. We work hard, and we are, compared to other cultures, we are reliable. People are reliable there. And again, not everyone, but it's in our culture. So you have a combination of different factors. I would say none of those factors are socialism, and that has created a rich country with where people, relatively speaking, are happy and well off. And it's not because we are socialists, because we're not. It's a capitalist country. There are lots to be said about that, of course. But and I just that's just the tip of the iceberg, you could say. But what I'm trying to say here is that we should be more humble. Um, and I'm seeing a lack of that. Um, People will say something, they will have an opinion, and it's typically a very simple opinion, and it's like one sentence, and that's it. Now, I find that when you study something, it's rarely black and white, it's typically shades of gray. And people who know a lot, people who have studied something, they tend to be quite humble. They tend to be more understanding of other people's, not other people's opinions, because some opinions are just plain wrong, but they tend to have an understanding that they don't know everything. And isn't that a bit ironic? Because those people who haven't studied something in detail or at all, they are so dead certain about everything, while those who have actually studied what they're talking about, they are full of doubt. And I don't know, was it Mark Twain who said something? Was it Mark Twain who said something like the whenever I can't remember which guy who said it or woman, I I say it. Mark Twain said that the problem is that intelligent people are full of doubt, while the idiots are dead certain about everything. Something like that. Um, Chris Justin says something exactly. Yes. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. Um, yeah, actually, we have a lot of taxes in Norway. That's the main reason why people are leaving. Did you know that? People are leaving. Typically, people with a lot of wealth, they are leaving Norway. Not all of them, but I'm considering leaving because I do not want now I work hard, and I've worked hard all my life, and what I have saved up, I don't want that to go to the state. I want that to go to my kids. That's not a I don't view that as selfish. Some people say that's selfish. In my world, it's not selfish. But where would you go? Here's another. That's that's the other question I was going to answer actually. Um, where would you go? Because I've been talking about leaving Norway, and I wouldn't do it now because some of my kids are at school and so on. But they will, in a few years' time, they will be not in school but students, and well, actually, they will be grown-ups in a few years. So if I was going to relocate to another country, where would I go? Some years ago, I would have answered the USA because I know that in some of the states, like Biden's home state, uh, the taxes are much lower. They like Delaware, it's called a tax haven, actually. Isn't that funny? But yeah, I'm not going to go to the USA, and I will. I'll tell you why. The USA has become much too liberal for me, socially liberal, and I don't believe in that. I am not a libertarian. I'm not a liberal. I know the difference, but I'm neither of those. Now you can be if you like. That's fine. It's up to you. But it's also my right to choose not to live in a kind of society where anything goes. And now it's I talking about the USA as like I know it, and I don't. And I understand it's different in some states, but I don't know. I don't know where I would go. I need to live by the coast. That's something I really have to do. I need to live by the sea, salt water, the sea. And I don't want to live in a place where things are socially liberal. And I don't want to open that can of angry wasps, talk about things like, abortion and so on. But I'm a bit scared. Not scared, but I'm not scared. I'm horrified by some of the laws that you have over there, like you know, uh, and some people listening will think that I'm supporting. I hope you don't think that by saying that I'm supporting the crazy people who are saying that a woman should be able to get rid of the child up to birth. I don't want to get too much into that, but what I'm trying to say is that I the laws in Norway are much more restrictive when you look at it than in some states in the USA. Again, so it's different in other some states, I know, but I don't like that. I don't like the liberalization of recreational drugs. I don't like uh, living in a country where you can buy uh, liquor on the gas station and then get into the car and drive. I don't think that's so wise. I don't want to live in a country where Christianity is extremely dominant. So I don't know. At the moment, Norway is not so bad when it comes to the social part of it, but the taxes are making it difficult. So yeah, so where would I go? I'm not so much into guns. For me, that's not important. Um, uh, Christopher, well, thank you for that. May you have peace. Well, I want to say the same to you. It's important. Scotland was always, I was planning to go to Scotland, have maybe a second home in Scotland, but then COVID came and oh, now they will demonetize the whole live stream. COVID came and then Scotland, the people making the decisions in Scotland show their true colors or face. Jefferson says, "You don't have Jesus." I don't understand that question. Yeah, guns protect free speech, says Wolf of Odin. PA Poppy, well, thanks for the super chat. Let's see her. Southeast Coast or the Gulf Coast. If you don't like guns or God, I don't know where to send you. No, I didn't say I don't have a problem with people having guns as long as they are sensible people. And when it comes to God, I'm going to be difficult here, okay? You need to understand there are lots of people talking about this. So I will assume that since we're talking about the USA, it's the Christian perception of God. or a god. But you need to understand that people assume that I know which one they're talking about. But there are many, and everyone thinks that their one is the only one, right? So please specify. Bon Evers, well, thanks a lot for the super chat. I have distant cousins in Scotland and Ireland. I also have relatives in Australia. Iceland, yes, I've been thinking about Iceland actually. So that's on the list. Now, the good thing, Alaska is absolutely on the list. Yes. Thank you, Bon Evers. Thank you. And True Metal Jake is also mentioning Alaska. Hold on, what's happening? Oh. Yeah, well, sometimes you see the squirrels, they run across the roof. Now I have a turf roof on, so yeah, I think that was a squirrel. Squirrels are quite aggressive, actually. I think you call the squirrels that we have red squirrels, and they are fighting a lot, you know. Alaska would be wonderful, and I plan to go to Alaska. What I like about Alaska, having watched numerous programs on the TV and videos, is that you can live where, and you won't see any neighbors, you know, and it has a coastline, a long coastline. Marcy Wood, thanks a lot for the super chat. You're mentioning Alabama or Florida. Yeah, Florida, much because of the politics, I think would be great, but I'm afraid it would be too warm for me. I'm not used to the not used to the the humid heat there. And don't get me wrong, I need to don't get me wrong here. When I say I don't like the liberal view of things that I see from here on my side of the Atlantic, that I see in some places in the USA, I'm not talking about the guns, okay? I do not believe, after having looked at the numbers, that sort of liberal gun laws result in more people getting shot. I can't see that as a fact, you know. I don't think it's correct. So that's not what I'm talking about. Maybe you got me wrong there. I think we agree on this, most of us here. I wouldn't have a problem living in a place with quite liberal gun laws, actually. It's not that kind of liberalism I'm talking about. And also, it's being liberal in Norway. It's not in my head when I'm saying it as a Norwegian. It doesn't mean the same as in your country. Most people here are Americans, I think. Yeah, so, well, Alaska would be great. I would love to live in Alaska. Okay, let's see here. Absolutely, CC has been a member for 9 months. Blessings and cheers. Well, same to you. Okay, so yeah, well, I know guns are a big topic in the USA. I'm not so much. I'm not into guns, but I think if you live in Alaska, in a sort of place where I would live, you need to have a gun because there is a slight chance that you will have to scare off some bears, not bears, bears like the animal. Um, Andrew, thanks a lot for the donation there. Says, I hear you on the US socio-political problems. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That's the right word. I've got my laundry list of problems with the US, but after traveling a while, I still have faith in it. Misplaced faith, probably, but yes. Okay. Scroll down here. Marcy Wood, thanks for the super chat. I'd say New England. Well, I've seen on TV. My wife, she loves these housing programs, Um, sometimes they are in New England looking for a new home, and the scenery is fantastic, but they're basically communist now. And you're from Massachusetts. It's run by the government, not the people. Well, that's too bad. Mike, thanks a lot for the super chat. Stay true, stay strong, be Scandinavian. Just me listening to the wind. Let's see. Let me scroll down. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that if I'm going to move, I wouldn't like to move in a place with crazy people with blue hair screaming in the streets and all that. I want peace and quiet and a big, big property. That's what I want. And if my neighbor has a gun or 10, I don't care. Bjorn says, you must review the Northman. Well, I talked about that already, and I said I won't be doing that. So you can scroll, not because I think it's a... can you scroll back towards the beginning? And I'm explaining why I don't review movies or anything here. Ulrich says, Verlan, thanks for the donation, says something very important here. Do not shoot at the bear unless you plan to kill it. Well, I don't plan to do that, but most guns will just piss them off. You also need a pilot's license in Alaska. It's huge. Well, sadly, we don't have bears in Norway practically anymore. So I would have to study on that. But thank you for informing me here. And I didn't know that. When it comes to a pilot's license, yeah, that's thank you for that. I would hate if a situation. I came into some kind of situation where I had to kill a bear. That would be horrible. So sad. That would be horrible. Um, yeah, no, Jimbus Maximus says, I love bears. Yeah, me as well, and wolves. Um, and I know that we have some wolves left in an area where I've been going camping and hiking for many years, actually, but I've never heard them. Some people do, and from time to time, but I haven't had the luck yet to hear them. But one day, and I hope to be able to capture it on audio or camera. Alt Rock Lover, thanks a lot for the donation. What? I don't know. Uh, yeah, Marcy. Uh, in Missouri, pretty big lakes. Yeah, well, but I need the sea. You know why I need the sea? Because I know that. Yeah, I know the candle went out. They do, but it's we have daylight shining through the gaps in the wall now, so we'll be okay. Um, yeah, I need to be close to the sea, and there's something about it that is difficult to explain, actually. um, when I'm inland, I don't like that so much. Uh, so, yeah. Um, so that's what I wanted. I think I've answered those common questions. Um, I I want to stress that this thing about being a student, remaining a student, being serious about being a student. Um, when I say student, I mean being someone who wants to acquire knowledge, wants to understand. Um, it is one of the most important messages that Odin um, is giving us humans, that we should strive to become wise, and it's a lifelong process. Um, and I don't know, maybe it's just me getting older or old. um, I I think we're in a situation now where everyone feels that he or she is an expert on whatever topic he or she um, chooses to believe that he or she is an expert on. Um, and I think the reason for that is that we have a what's the word? Self-affirming, yeah. Well, we have this internet. Most people use Google, and Google will give you much more of the same. Okay, so if you search for something, two different people, based on this, I hope you know this. You all know this. Will Two different people will get different search results because they will be tailored to you based on what you have searched for in the past. That's not a good thing at all. Now, so people don't get challenged enough, and therefore they think that they know it all. Um, and I see it all the time in the comments on my videos. People are so certain about things. I'm not. Well, some things actually are quite simple, but normally I am full of doubt. Um, oh, when it comes to so many things, you know. Um, yes, Joseph says something here. Oh, it vanished up here. Lost it now. Yeah, we are all students. That I think you said. um, And Marcy, again, thanks for the super chat, says, I get it being from the coast, I hate being landlocked. Um, Wolfo Odin, that's a great comment. Thank you for that. Wolfo Odin says, I've been a carpenter for 25 plus years, and I still learn new and better ways to do things. Exactly. Exactly. You know, and Craig, I should have brought my glasses, but my someday I will be in my Viking clothes with glasses on. But Socrates said, I am the wisest man alive. It is for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. That I know nothing, yes. Um, Horror Business is asking, do you need to speak Norwegian to work in Norway? Here's a funny thing about that. I don't know. It would be dependent on what kind of work you were doing, I imagine. But if you're English speaking and you move to Norway, it will be somewhat challenging for you to learn Norwegian. No, that was wrong. You will learn Norwegian, but what will happen is that people will want to speak English. Norwegians will prefer to speak English most of the time with you. I don't know why that is, but I know, like, my back in the day when my Muay Thai teacher was Englishman, and he always spoke English. He could speak Norwegian, but everyone was speaking English with him, so he never got to practice. um, Now, Andrew Brown, thanks for the donation, says that Andrew says he's a mountain man at heart, but I can go long periods away from the sea. But when I arrive at the coastline, I don't know, something comes over me that only the sea brings. Then I ask, why did I wait? Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, pagan or heathen, I don't care so much about the difference and all that. I that's maybe not so important. I've seen so many people trying to define what a heathen is and what a pagan is and all that. And it's not so important to me. And it's a private thing. I have done, as you may know, some heathen hangouts. I call them heathen hangouts. That was Matthias Treeman's idea, actually. I kind of stole it, but he thinks it doesn't mind. That's okay. But heathen hangouts, it sounds better than pagan hangouts, right? Heathen hangouts. So Um, have you been to the Roman Colosseum? Yes, I have. Um, yeah, so it's a private thing, and I was intending to keep it that way, but I get so many. Wolfo Olin says, "I'm a conservative heathen." Wonderful. That's I feel the same. I'm also, I would say, a conservative and a heathen. Um, I and I've talked about this before, and I don't mean to criticize people for being Christian. Of course not. It's That's your choice. It's not for me to make that decision for you. Of course, it's not. And it would be extremely disrespectful for me to say that, well, you're wrong and all that. I would never do that. But I get it all the time, and it's not so nice. So I've been trying to ask people to leave me in peace when it comes to that. Please just leave me in peace. Um, Nobody appointed you to be to decide what I'm going to believe or believe in or not believe in. But so I've been that's what I've been saying, and it has just gotten everything worse actually. um, and people are sending me these letters, and some subscribed in my name to a Christian little newspaper and so on. So I mean, they shouldn't do that. They shouldn't do that. um, um, it's just it's it's I want to say it's a bit childish. It's a bit immature to do that. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. So, uh, but as I always say, if you're a Christian, or I don't know, if you're a Muslim, or we have Muslim people here as well. Actually, not many, but some, and they've always been nice here in the chat. And we have. I can't remember, but people of different faiths and atheists and everything. It's not for me to decide. So we need some tolerance, and we need some tolerance and understanding that people have different perceptions of the world. And as Britain S says, I respect all faiths. Exactly. So do I. And as long as people understand it's a private thing and should remain that, um, then it shouldn't be a problem, and you can believe that people with a different faith are wrong. I do. I actually do. I do believe that if you come to me and say Jesus that and God this and all that stuff, I do think that you're wrong. But I don't know everything, and neither do you. So, especially when it comes to these very big questions like life and death and destiny and all that, we're only, our perception is limited. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. So I don't know what's right and correct when it comes to these things, and nobody does. So, and it's okay if you think I'm wrong. That's totally fine. As I said, maybe I am, maybe you are. We just need some respect here. Yes, Joseph, thanks for the donation, and you're saying that if we all learn to respect one another, that the powers that mean to divide us won't stand a chance. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Marcy, thanks for the super chat. How can I learn more about Norse paganism? Where I live, most Norse what? Most Norse practitioners are white supremacist biker gangs. Wow. Well, that doesn't sound very nice. I must say. Um, well, just find some books, order some books, and start from there, I guess. Um, it's difficult for me to tell you which books to read because most of my books are in Norwegian. Um, let's see here. Yeah, the card machines in Norway are down. Yeah, well, that was yesterday. Um, I'm just listening to some of the dogs in the neighborhood. Yeah, I can hear from the dogs what's happening in the neighborhood, you see, but it's still very early. Um, let's see here. What I was going to say something, or let's see here. I'm sorry. The biker gangs. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't laugh because it's sad. It's just sad. And I will say that such a it's an what's the term, ill fit. It doesn't fit that kind of people if you understand what people normally call Norse paganism. It doesn't seem like a good fit for that kind of people at all. Is the name Svaim a Norse name or Scandinavian? You mean maybe Svein? Absolutely, it is. um, let's see. Yeah, well, um, it's kind of difficult to talk about these things like faith and so on, and because we are talking about something that I feel is difficult for human beings to understand, um, for obvious reasons. Um, yeah. So yes, Andrew says the bike gangs are more attracted to machismo, real or perceived associated, than the actual hedonism or hidden lifestyle itself. Um, yeah, it's very easy to find that celebration of what we could call the masculine power in Norse hedonism. I mean, they basically have their own god for that, Thor. So it's very easy to see the appeal there. But then you are looking at just a small part of it, uh, and that's the thing, when you have to the Norse pantheon, I think the word is such a multitude of symbols or deities representing different aspects of life and the world, life and death, and that I would say if you need to understand that first, and then that's a good starting point. But I feel that many people, and especially those biker gangs people, they come to Norse paganism with a monotheistic mindset. So they will have a very poor understanding of the whole thing, if that makes sense. Um, um, let's see here. Joseph, well, thanks a lot for that. GB, you got censored there. I don't know why. I don't know. That's YouTube doing that sometimes. Biker gangs. I don't like biker gangs. um, yeah, and I've said this a million times. Yes, I do say Viking. It's not correct, but it's so ingrained in my language. In Norway, we say Vikings, but they only little percentage, just a few of the people back then were Vikings, of course. But it feels so odd to use other words for that in because I'm translating in my head from Norwegian. And we say Vikings, we say the Viking Age, and people lived back then were Vikings, even though they were not. Only a few of them were actual Vikings, but you know what I mean, okay? Marcy, thanks a lot for the donation again. Some words there I won't read, but because you know how this works here on YouTube. But just a comment to there. Hitler was a Christian, so he took several symbols that he felt would appeal to the population and that would celebrate his idea of the the white race and all that. He shaped a ideology, obviously, and he stole, I would say, symbols from several religions and cultures, actually, and made a mix that would serve purely or only, as a yeah, I can't. It's a bit difficult for me to explain, but you know what I mean. I mean the swastika wasn't that inverted an inverted Hindu symbol? Is that it? Well, there is nothing about it that would suggest it. I mean, it's much older than that ideology. Okay, so now I remember how difficult it is to talk about these things with code words and all that. Yeah, Genevieve, he was an addict. He was. Yeah, I know Christopher. He was not a Christian. Well, he claimed to be. So bad people are Christians too. And I don't say that he understood Christianity at all, but I'm just saying that he claimed to be that. So, okay. Um, yeah, I mean, bad people come from all walks of life and religions. Yeah, we're talking about someone who was twisted in every. His mind was twisted and sick and evil. Of course, I mean, I'm, um, yeah. So let's just leave that. That's a big topic, and I wasn't prepared to talk about that. Um, yeah, hard hitting questions. Yes, absolutely. Um, but it would be very easy to find bad people from all walks of life, all religions. Uh, yeah, so a psychopath, yes, yeah, obviously. Moving on. Um, I will talk a little bit about the content on my main channel just before I close this live stream. um, Hold on. I find it difficult to pick topics, right? But on my main channel, but well, here's what I observe: a little bit of technical information to you guys. If all my more than 500,000 subscribers on the main channel had clicked on all notifications, life would be more easier for me. Or I would be able to make different content from time to time. But here's the thing: YouTube works in such a way that if you don't click on all notifications, you will not be notified. Necessarily, you will not be notified when I upload a new video. You will only be notified when I upload a new video that the algorithm thinks it's a good fit to the other videos that you have been watching recently. So when I upload some overnighters out in the woods, not many people watch those, relatively speaking. And I have to adjust to that. That is the hard truth. So I will probably be continuing to upload most of my outdoors, overnighters, bushcraft videos on Bjorn Outdoors. And I will probably stick to the same format. Middle-aged man sitting by a fire in the forest talking on the main channel most of the time. And that's just how it is. I need to get the YouTube algorithm to understand that they need to notify people that I have uploaded new videos, even though people haven't clicked on all notifications. That's the whole problem, you see. But that's how it is, and I need to just adjust to that. What I will not do is make videos just for clicks. I will refuse to do that. So I've been calling out people, especially in the prepping community, who make thumbnails and videos time after time that are pure clickbait and scaremongering. Now, if I feel that if there is reason to worry, if I feel that we have to talk about this, I would say so. But I want you all to know I will never use scaremongering, clickbait, or anything like that. It's not ethically sound. I will not do it. But we live in a time where we will be seeing some huge changes quite soon. And I will try to talk about that. Okay. As well as other things. Maria, thanks for the donation. What are other sports you play or enjoy for workouts? I like walking, well, except from lifting weights. I mean, well, I like walking. I walk the dogs a lot, and that's basically it. I actually gardening takes a lot of the time. Carrying stuff. I always seem to be carrying stuff back and forth here. Every day there's something new to do, something to do, and it's a bit too much, to be honest with you. But we're slowly getting there. And we are going to look at some other properties as well. We're going to look at that, and yeah. But anyway, I can see now that I have to stop the live stream. There is no electricity in this cabin, and I'm using my laptop. And it's almost empty now. So I want to say thank you for joining. Wonderful to chat with you all, and have a wonderful day. Bye.